Hi guys, I'm Gasha. Welcome to the channel and welcome as always to our coffee times. Today we're here to discuss the books that I have put on my TBR pile for the month of May.
It's coffee time.
Now, since in March I pushed myself so hard to read so much and it nearly got me into a reading slump, in the month of April I have slowed down. I have given myself a break. I still did read a lot, but not as much as I regularly would have read, which is perfectly fine. In the month of May, I still want to give myself a set TBR pile. I think it helps me when I have a set TBR pile that I can always go to, but I can always make changes, so it's still kind of flexible. So I've put together some books that I would like hopefully to read in the month of May, and I'm here to talk to you guys about it. If you're new here and if you love books and horror, please consider subscribing to the channel and also hit the notification bell before you leave. So for the month of May, I decided to use my TBR card system. So for the new release, we are going to be reading Goblin by George Mallerman. It's a combination of several novellas that all deal in one way or another with goblins. So as soon as this one is released, I will order it and hopefully it will make it to me on time. I have learned that when it comes to Amazon, pre-ordering right now is worth nothing. Your pre-orders are never sent, you have to cancel. So my advice, if you're using Amazon, just wait for the release date and then order the book as soon as it's available. That will work better than pre-order. For the non-horror book, I have chosen The Disenchantments by Lina LaCour. I have read previously We Are Okay and Hold Still, and I really enjoyed them, and this one has been on my TBR pile for a long time. It is contemporary and it follows a group of friends that are in a band and are kind of touring around in their van. So I don't know if this one is gonna be for me, but I just really love the way that Lina LaCour writes her characters, and it tends to be stories with a lot of grief and a lot of pain added to it. I don't know if this one's gonna be like that or not, but we shall see. As for the book series, I'm finally going to force myself to read Immunity by Erin Bowman, and I'm forcing myself because I think I read Contagion, which is the first book on the series or the trilogy, like 2 years ago, and I still have not picked up the second one even though I own it. And this is YA horror combined with science fiction. It is about this crew that is sent to a planet after they get a distress signal, and when they get to the planet they realize that nobody else there is no longer alive, so they're kind of left on their own surviving. It seems there was a virus in that planet, something happened, and I enjoyed it. Is it the best horror science fiction I've ever read? No, but I really enjoyed the ride, so I would like to continue the story. As for my old TBR book, I have picked The House by Bentley Little. I read The Bank and I was really hoping to love it, but I didn't. But I'm going to give the author another chance because I already own The House and this was one recommended to me. It follows 5 strangers that apparently share a common secret, something dark, something that happened in a house. They're all having nightmares about it, something like that. And I love stories that combine haunted houses, also different strangers that have maybe the same recurring nightmares or have something happen to them in their childhood that it kind of connects them together. I really think that this one has a theme that I will really love, but I kind of also thought that about The Bank and then I didn't love it, so I'm hoping that this one is gonna be good. As for the ebook, I'm actually going to choose one book that I had on my TBR pile for the month of April and I didn't get to, and that is The Redwood Asylum. I really enjoy books about asylums and this one is short, so I'm hoping to fit it in this month. This is about Jessica, a 26-year-old girl that starts a new job at this asylum, and of course as we all know, there's probably really dark secrets that she starts to uncover, especially things related to a specific patient. So I'm just all here for this. As for our spooky middle grade, I have chosen a ghost story. We have Wait Till Helen Comes by Mary Downing Hahn. In this story, we follow stepsisters and brothers, and they all live in the same house after their parents marry, and behind the house there is a cemetery. And so Heather starts to see a new friend that's called Helen, and apparently that is a girl that died in mysterious circumstances. For our YA horror book, I have chosen Bad Girls Don't Die by Katie Allender. I think this is a trilogy and I really want to try the first book and see if I'm gonna love it or not before I purchase the other books. And this is about Alexis' little sister who discovers an antique doll and gets really obsessed with it, and suddenly things in the house start to be weird. Doors start to close, the stove gets on by itself, like a lot of weird things start to happen around the house, and I'm really hoping this is going to be a good one so that I can continue with the trilogy. As always, you guys, if any of these books that I'm mentioning you've already read, let me know down below your thoughts on them. For the novella, I have chosen The Last Night of October by Greg Chapman, and this one sounds so good. We follow a 70 years old, which I love to see because it's not something that you tend to see a lot done in stories, and this 70-year-old doesn't like Halloween at all. So every year he locks all the doors, the windows, he just pretends the night doesn't happen. It is probably because of something that happened to him in his childhood, but his nurse has been changed and replaced by a new nurse, and she doesn't know about all of this, so apparently she lets the evil into the house. Then I'm going to be reading The House of Dust by Noah Broyles. I got this one from NetGalley, so I also want to catch up with my NetGalley books, and this one was on my books releases for the month of May, so it was already on my radar, which is perfect. And this is about a house that now it's kind of like abandoned and crumbling down, but it is a house that used to be on a plantation, and when some people go there to investigate, they find some old bizarre symbols and burial rites, and I'm just here for it to see how this story is gonna be, because I'm hoping it's going to be kind of like an interesting new take on your typical haunted house story. Then I'm going to be reading a new release that basically just showed up at my door yesterday, and that is House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. I've heard really good things about it and it was already on my radar, so I decided to pick it up. And this follows three sisters that disappeared only to reappear 1 month later, and they had no recollection of what happened to them, no memories whatsoever. And I believe it's years later when one of the three sisters disappears again, and they don't know where she went, if she went to the same place or what's happening. So I'm really curious to see. I am a sucker for books about sisters, disappearances, all of these things, and I've heard good things. Like I said, plus this cover is stunning. And the last thing is actually a book that I just started this morning and I'm already halfway through it, and that is My Sister, the Serial Killer. And I really wanted to try this book because obviously the serial killer, it sounded just like the perfect combo between horror and a little bit of like comedy, just based on the title. So this follows two sisters that couldn't be more different from each other, and one of them always calls her sister the nurse to help her clean up after she has killed one of her boyfriends. And I'm like, love this. I really like it because it's very fast paced, the chapters are super short, so I'm already halfway through the book, and I just started it this morning. We will see when the book finishes if I love it as much as I am loving it right now, but so far I'm really invested. I love the family dynamics in the book, so I'm hoping this is going to be a 4 to 5 coffee mug rating. Alright you guys, so these are the books that I plan on reading in the month of May. If something comes on the mail in between that I just cannot resist, I might push it in the middle and let you guys know about it. I might make a secret vlog here and there, who knows what's gonna happen. But these are kind of like the planned books that I have on my TBR for the month of May. Some of them are short, so I'm trying to, you know, help myself read again a little bit more without putting myself in a reading slump. Let me know you guys, what are you currently reading? What has been the best book you read in the month of April? Let's talk about it in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. As always you guys, please give the video a big thumbs up for support, and I hope to see you all guys in the next coffee time. Bye.